Hey everyone, Miss Curdy here, and we are moving on to topic 5-3, which is finding missing numbers in a multiplication table. There was no topic video on 5-2, how to use a multiplication chart, because that's something we've already watched a video on back in topic 4. Now, one thing that you're going to notice when we're finding missing numbers in these multiplication tables is that they haven't given us a full multiplication table where we already have our factors 0 through 10 at the top and 0 through 10 down the side. That would be really simple to fill in because we know there's lots of patterns in there. Instead, they're going to make it more of a puzzle or more of a riddle for us, where we have some of our factors missing and some products missing. But you're going to notice it doesn't always start at 0 and go down in consecutive order with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can see that right here where we have a 0, a blank space, and all of a sudden it jumps to 8. Here we have a blank space and we all of a sudden jumped to 7. So just know that they're not going to be in order. You won't have every factor, every number filled in as a factor, 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10 or down the side. There's going to be different numbers here. So this might be a 6 next to a 7, but it also could be a 2 or a 3. It's not going to go in numerical order. So in order to do this, our first step is we want to start figuring out what our factors are along the side and then filling in our products. And we know that when we have a multiplication equation, we always have 3 parts. And we need to have 2 parts in order to figure out a third part. If we only know one piece, we wouldn't be able to solve the equation. We need at least 2 pieces, whether it's 2 factors to help us find a product or 1 factor and the product to help us find that other factor. So let's take a look at this first table. I see I already have a factor 0 there. And when I go to look at what this one might be, I notice I have 0 times something I don't know what it is yet equals something I also don't know. So I'm not able to fill this section in because I only have one piece to the puzzle. When I look across, I do see 0 times 7, and I am able to solve that and know that that is a 0. So let's look at another spot where we've got 2 pieces. I notice I have a spot here missing, and when I go across, I do see I have a product of 42 and a factor of 7. So 7 times what is going to give me 42, and I know that to be 6. So here I've got another factor. When I look to fill this spot or this one, I can't yet because I just know I have a 6 and 2 missing spots. So I'm going to have to hold off on that and see where else I can find an answer. Here I see I have an 8 and a 32. So if I think 8 times what equals 32, I'll be able to fill in another spot. And now I have a 4 there. Well, looking down, I now can fill in 0 times 4 is 0. I can fill in 6 times 4 is 24, but I cannot fill in this last spot because I don't know what that missing factor is yet. Looking down here at my next column, I see that I've got a 7 and a 21 here. So I know 7 times something is going to give me 21, and I know that factor is going to be 3. And now I can fill in this, 3 times 4 equals 12. 8 and 7 is going to give me 56. So now I have almost all of my factors filled in. I've got one more. Let's see. Here's my 72, and I have an 8. So I can think 8 times what gives me 72, and I know that's going to be a 9. So now I have all my factors filled in, which makes it easy to fill in my products. Here we've got 0 times 9 is 0. 6 times 9 is 54. We already have our 72 there. And then 3 times 9 is 27. So keep in mind that these factors don't need to go in numerical order. They can jump around. I've got 0, 6, 8, then down to 3. Across I had 4, 7, and 9. So even though the factors aren't in numerical order, we're still able to figure out what the products are. But we have to make sure that every spot does make sense with how we use a multiplication chart. So at this time, if you want, you can pause the video, give yourself a few minutes to see if you can fill this in, and then press play to come back and we can fill it in together if you need any help. Go ahead and pause. All right, let's take a look. So starting off, I see I have a 3 and a 15, and I'm able to think 3 times what equals 15, and I know that that will give me a 5. I'm also looking down here and I'm noticing I have a 3 and an 8, and I know that 3 times 8 is 24. Looking down, I see I have that 8 in that 56, so I can think 8 times what is 56, and I know that factor will be a 7. I see I have my 7 and 5, I can make that a 35, and my 9 and 5 for a 45. Looking across here, I see I have a 9 matching up with that 54, and I can think 9 times what equals 54, and I know that is going to be a 6. Now that I have that factor, I can do 3 times 6 is 18, 7 times 6 is 42. Here I already have my 8 and my 9, so I know that 8 times 9 is 72. And then my last factor here, I see I've got 8 as a factor and 16 as a product, so I know that 2 times 8 is how we would get that product of 16. And now I have all my factors, I can go ahead and finish filling it in. 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 6 is 12. So now I have that filled in. Again, it doesn't go in numerical order, but that's okay, as long as that when we match up the factors, it equals the correct product. Here is our last one for the video, so why don't you take a moment to pause and try this one totally on your own, and then check your work with the video. Go ahead and pause now. All right, let's take a look at what we have. Here I'm seeing the 4 and the 24, so I can think 4 times what equals 24, and I know that that is going to be a 6. Going down, I can't figure out either of these yet. 6 and 9 I know is already 54. Coming across here, 4 times 7 is 28. I see a 7 and a 14. 7 times what equals 14? I know that's going to be a 2. Now I can fill in 2 times 6 is 12. Down here I've got 7 and a 56, so I know that will be an 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. Here I have that 9 and that 7 matching up, so I know 9 times 7 is going to give me 63. Now I've got a 9 as a factor and a 0 as my product, so I need to think 9 times what would give me 0, and of course that answer is going to be 0. And then when I fill in all of those products, 4 times 0 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, and 8 times 0 is 0. So that was a nice easy column there. So go ahead, check your work, see if you have any questions. If you do, you can sign up for a group lesson. If not, you can continue working through this lesson. Hope you had a great day, and we will be back soon.